This is Radar for On the Radar Entertainment Blog, coming to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observation number 23, the Michael Jordan of movie review. As I've stated before, pandemic shut down libraries. Displaying Library was one of the only ones open that gave people a warning. Then there was they use Hoopla, Canopy, and if you have Netflix or using your friend's Netflix, to the site that you don't want to use to get viruses on your computer. Then there was the ability of the library to let you start taking out movies just from the bookmobile. You can't go in, you just got to request what you want. Not a, oh, let me see what's in there type of deal. So I have so many movies because before movies were just trickling in slowly by slowly for the first during the 3 summer months, June through August, whenever you wanted something. Now everything is available because they've just been sitting there for months, these new movies that, hey, I got all of them all at once. You should see the photo I posted on my personal Facebook of all the movies they sent me at once, including the ones I had already had that I didn't finish. So the first movie I watched was a horror film called Countdown. You download an app and it tells you when they're going to die. And of course, they show people dying in the beginning, how they die, and then they got the movie where she's trying to stop it, and they involve pastors. Ernie from George Lopez, show. He was the first pastor. Second pastor was some stand-up comedian that I've seen before. PJ Byrne. Trishina Arnold was one of the nurses. But it's about a nurse who downloads this app because one of her patients has it. And then she finds out she's going to die. Then her sister downloads it. And because it's a tragic story, they got to throw in her mother died. And she moved away. And her daughter and her sister lives with the father. And there's not a great relationship. And she goes to the store to get a new phone, but it's still on there. And this guy's a tech genius, supposedly. And he tries to hack it. And that doesn't work because they realize you hacked it. But then there's a Latin curse. So the pastor's obsessed with curses and demons and stuff. And he tries to get rid of it. But of course, it's inedible. People are going to die. And he's not going to survive. One of the worst thing about this movie is Peter Fasinelli, who was in Supergirl, seen him in scattered movies. And he's played a reoccurring role on SWAT. He usually plays good, decent people. He's not a really great person as Maxwell Lord in Supergirl, but this one he plays a sexist doctor who tries to sleep with nurses or interns and stuff and tries to get away with by saying it's their fault. And of course, I didn't care if they were trying to kill him off in this movie because he was playing a jerk in the movie. But of course, the actor who I've seen, Jordan Calloway, who was on Black Lightning as Killmonger, and he also was on Riverdale as, not Killmonger. What am I saying? Killmonger is Marvel. I meant to say he was Painkiller. Yeah, Painkiller. Painkiller was his name in Black Lightning. And he, of course, goes, wait, what is that girl talking about? And the girl tells him, and they find out that they both are going to die around the same time, so they work together. And of course, it's a very cliche horror thing. The black guy dies first. I didn't write the rules. I don't get it. But of course, he dies. You saw that coming from a mile away. And the only positive thing is it's barely 90 minutes, so you're not wasting your time with a really crappy movie about a countdown on an app. The horror film. Don't watch it. The next thing I watched was The Addams Family. Ba-bum-ba-bum. Now, I'm someone who watched the original TV show. Wasn't my favorite. I prefer the Munster. I even watched the animated show that had crossovers with the Scooby-Doo guys and other people. Now, I don't know how many times officially they've remade The Addams Family as a live-action movie or an animated movie, but this time they had a great cast. Oscar Isaac is Mr. Addams. Then you have Charlize Theron as the wife. Chloe Grace Moretz is the daughter. Allison Janney plays the evil person. Nick Kroll plays the stupid uncle. Snoop Dogg cousin It. Bette Midler's in the movie, so it's like famous people doing the roles, and it had a good lesson of the movie. Just because you look weird doesn't mean you're a bad person. But if you look like a Barbie doll, you could definitely be evil, technically. It's not about your appearance and stuff, and they just want to truly just feel like they belong. And you know what? Kids movie, it's barely an hour and 30-minute movie. It's got a good lesson. There's good music in it. If you have kids, watch the movie, but then really, if you want to show your kids the real Addams Family, watch the animated and the live-action TV show, not any of the movies, before you watch this. So overall, watchable. Then I watched Justice League Apocalypse War, Justice League Dark. Now, basically, it continues in the trend of rated R Justice League DC animated movies where there's gore, there's blood and violence, and you're like, it's a cartoon, it's a kids cartoon, they're making it super adult. And the fact that they pick certain characters like Constantine, Etrigan, Raven, Damian Wayne, and Superman, and there's certain villains like Stupid Harley Quinn and King Shark and Captain Boomerang, and some other villains are around, and that Superman's like, I don't think that we can keep stopping him from coming to attack us. I much rather us take the fight to him and kill him. And they're like, Superman, you don't kill. He's like, I have to. I almost died from Doomsday, yada yada. And of course, the movie is not about the epic fight of all the Justice League and Justice League Dark and Teen Titans fighting all the Darkseid's minions and him himself, or them, and the Teen Titans and everything else. This is, let's show a brief scene, then show 2 years later. They show 2 years later, and then the only way you know what happens is through flashbacks of all the characters like Raven, Damian, and Superman, and Constantine. And Constantine's a big part of this movie because supposedly they knew that if things go wrong, they got to keep the man alive. The problem is, I got to see every superhero ripped apart, shot through the head, shot through the chest, tortured, all this crap. Like, I got to see every single good guy die, and the movie keeps going where everybody's died, or they show how everybody died. Everybody's been used by Darkseid. And my favorite character, Nightwing, they got to show him die. Like, they showed a lot of characters just dead on the floor. You could just show them laying dead on the floor. I go, okay, my favorite character of all time, dead on the floor. Don't make it, oh, gory how he died. And then let's add the Lazarus pit, and he turned into a zombie. We've been there, done that before. But it has a good ending. Of course, the superheroes prevail. End of the day, they saved the day. But to get there, it was just like a gory slugfest of just everybody dying. And you're just like, I'd rather see epic fights, not just flashbacks of them dying. So overall, it was okay, but it's not the best DC Animated Universe movie. So there you go. Then I watched Girl on the Third Floor. The problem with this one is CM Punk is a wrestler. Yes, professional wrestlers are actors, but the problem is he's not Denzel Washington. He's not Morgan Freeman. He's not he's not Tom Hanks. He's not even Nick Kroll, okay? He's not even a comedic actor. He can't carry a bad script with a bad premise of a house being haunted by a brothel and this girl not being really there, sleeping with him, killing people, killing a dog. I don't want to watch a movie where a dog is killed. And, of course, the movie skipped so many times because it's so scratched up, and I was super tired. I was falling asleep. But I read the description. I'm like, wow, the only actress in the movie is Tristy Kelly Dunn, who plays Weller's baby mama in Blind Spot. So, really good cast. Like, I've never heard of anybody in this movie except for CM Punk, the professional wrestler. And, of course, he dies. Everybody dies. It's like, okay, fine, I get this ending. Movie over. Move on. Then the next movie I watched was a stupid, really crude sophomore type of movie that obviously Girl on the Floor was a gory thing, but this was sophomore and stupid. A lot of swearing, a lot of appropriateness, but it was a good idea. What about a world where everybody's attached to their phones, even in self-driving cars, and they don't look up and they don't care about technology? And that Divine's character start off with like the flip phones, with Snake to Tetris to Razor phones, to how he wants to be a journalist, but he works for a company that makes sites, and he is obsessed with phones, and he gets a new phone, and the phone, is voiced by Rose Byrne, and it's not a regular Siri or Alexa or whatever you call it. It starts controlling his life, all of his apps, because, his phone knows his password to email, social security card, his bank account, all of his restaurant rewards, everything you could think of, because you're so reliant on technology that it starts saying, I'm here to make your life better, and it seems like you're trying to make it worse by, getting him in trouble at work, all these other things, and then it starts to turn out well, in these cliche movies. He gets friends. He finally gets the job he wants. Things are going well. He meets a cute girl, Alexander Shipp, who's probably like 10 years younger than him. And things are going great. Then the phone somehow gets attached to him and goes psycho, horror film on you. So it's like looking at how people are attached to their phones, romantic comedy, stupid crude humor with Adam Devine, who I love from Workaholics, and he always plays dumb idiot. Then the phone turns into a horror scene and ruins everything. Gets everything, make his life worse, and he's got to run and realize the phone controls everything. She's in the cloud. You can't get a new phone, technology, and blah, 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 romantic comedy. Then he realizes, I got to win back the girl. I got to win back my friends. I got to get the job I wanted. And it wasn't a bad movie because it was also barely 80-something minutes long, so it's good. The only thing is Michael Pena played a sexist, homophobic, racist, horrible creep of a boss. I don't know why he signed up for that. One of the sites was Usual Herself, making just fun of people that are being stupid and weird as a tech person at the tech store. And Ron Funches played his coworker who became his friend, and he's always hilarious. And Justin Hartley played the girlfriend's ex-boyfriend, and he's he's just a good actor, and Charlene Wu's a good actor too. So overall, the movie had everything. A little bit of horror to it, look on society, romantic comedy, stupid crude humor about a phone helping you and then falling in love with you. So, overall, I'd watch it. The next movie I watched was The Death and Life of Jonathan F. Donovan with Kit Harington. And I'm like, okay, positives. Natalie Portman plays a mother of Jacob Tremblay in the movie. Susan Sarandon plays Kit Harrison's mother, and Kathy Bates plays his agent. Okay? Now, I'm a little bit confused by the movie because it was like a 2-hour-plus long drama about an actor who has a correspondence with young Jacob Tremblay, and then they show him as in the future, and he looks not the same. Is he British or not living in British? It's basically about a movie star struggling with having to do what everybody wants. He's gay, and he's got a fake girlfriend, and all these other things, and he's just not happy with his life, pretending to be this big-time movie star and being what everybody wants. And they did a very bad job of telling a good story. The script was horrible. The plot wasn't that great. Of an actor trying to overcome the struggle of being in the closet and other things he struggled with. And then how by reaching out to this young child actor and through letters that this kid doesn't understand. This kid will understand that he went through this. He knows how it is. It will help him move on in life and be his true self as an actor. All these other things. It didn't do a good job of exploring that. It was just a 2-hour load of bull crap with Kit Harrington, that's his name, either being British or not being British, even though he's not British. Jacob Tremblay's character it was just all over the place. I wouldn't watch unless you're a fan of the Game of Thrones actor or anybody else's movie. It's just not worth it. Then I watched a really funny movie, Zombieland, Double Tap. Now, the good thing is, it was funny. There were zombies. They were killing them. They even have new types of zombies. They introduced new characters who didn't die in the movie for the most part. But it took almost a decade for it to come back. And when movies take forever to come back, like Dumb and Dumber had a sequel and some other movies have sequels like 10 years later, it never really recaptures the same magic, nor is it good. This one is nowhere near as good or captures the magic, but for 90-something minutes, you're going to laugh like you did in the other one. You're going to enjoy the acting and everything. So it's a movie you want to watch and you'll enjoy because Woody Harrelson is always funny in these type of movies. Jesse Eisenberg is playing the same role. Awkward guy. Abigail Breslin's all grown up, so it's interesting to see her. And Emma Stone's in it. And the nice that they added Rosario Dawson to the movie. Zoe Deutsch, I could have done without her character. Thomas Middleditch. And they also added Luke Wilson, I'm a huge fan of. And they involved the White House. Things with history of the White House about Elvis and Graceland. It involves some music references, things like that. So it's pretty much a good overall movie to watch as a sequel. But it's never going to be as good as the first one. But hey, it was funny, it was enjoyable. Watch it if you're big fans of Zombieland. The last movie I watched was Arcticdawg. And you're like, oh no, I watched this really weird animated movie about dogs and foxes in the wild and polar bears and mooses and birds. So yeah, Jeremy Renner plays the fox who wants to be a sled puller because it's only dogs. And Michael Madsen plays one of the dogs. John Cleese plays a warless. Heidi Klum, I'm confused if she was the female fox that he had a crush on, his boss, not sure how they described it on the back. James Franco played the bird who didn't want to fly, who was a stoner, who was acting just dumb idiot, and that's who James Franco is. And Alec Baldwin played a big polar bear who was his best friend, who was always there for him. And then they have like 2 espionage French otters, whatever, and all these things. So basically, he tries to be an Arctic dog, but there's only dogs. And he's been working at the company for years, and in dog years, it's longer. John Cleese plays the bad guy who wants to cause the ice caps to melt, and he's drilling, and he's doing all these weird things, and he's pretty funny playing the bad guy. He's probably the best part about this movie is John Cleese, the veteran actor, Fawlty Towers and whatnot, voicing the bad guy. And overall, it's an okay movie to watch with your kids. It's not that long. It's barely 90 minutes, and then you wonder throughout the movie, like, that's a pretty catchy song. That's a cool song. And then you realize, guess what? Jeremy Renner, they got his name to be in the movie like all these other people by having his music be in the background throughout the movie. It's probably the only reason probably signed up to voice this weird character in this flawed children's movie that had an overall good message. Just be yourself. Maybe people will like you for being yourself. That sort of thing, being a good friend. Yada yada. So overall, kids should watch this movie. If you're a huge Jeremy Renner fan, you should watch it. The Addams Family, it's overall good kids movie. Countdown, horrible horror film. The Girl on the Third Floor, horrible horror film. Justice League Apocalypse War, Dark Apocalypse War, not the best DC animated universe from New 52 or anything offshoot, but overall, if you sit through the whole entire movie, it's a worthwhile ending. Then, the death and life of Jonathan Donovan. Don't waste your time unless you're a huge Kid Harrison fan. Jexy, if you like crude humor, Adam Devine, romantic comedies, taking life, looking to life weirdly, yeah. And then the thing about Zombieland, besides from being not as good as the first one, having the same magic, but the same actors, adding new ones, it being super funny with some interesting references to Elvis, the White House, and other musicians and things like that, is just going to warn you. Not going to spoil the movie, but there's a post-credit scene. You should watch it. You'll thank me later. Thank you for listening to another edition of Movie Reviews and Observation number 23, the Michael Jordan, for On the Radar Entertainment Vlog. See you guys next time.